Hello everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to this webinar. Our topic for today is build immunity with natural foods. So there's, obviously there's been a lot of talk these days about building immunity. There are a lot of WhatsApp messages floating around, a lot of information available on internet and on various health apps. But our program has been made to just simplify this whole journey of building immunity by including natural foods. So we'll give you a little bit background upon how immunity is looked at from a nature cure point of view, and then we will talk a little bit about what our program is and what we will do in that program. So firstly, a little bit about WellCure. Some of you might know about us, but for those who are new, WellCure is an online platform for natural healing. So we have a lot of coachings that we do in this space. There are personal coachings where we work one-on-one with people to help them adopt a natural lifestyle. And then there are group programs such as this one where we pick up a theme and we help people implement that particular theme in their life. So our entire focus is on making this journey simple and doable, because from our own experiences, personal experiences in our lives, we have realized that natural lifestyle is your key to a healthy life, and you can be free of any diseases or free of medicines as well if you follow the laws of nature. So on our website, we have a lot of articles which are around these topics. We also have lots of recipes of natural ingredients based foods. We have journeys of people who have been able to cure themselves naturally. So do visit the website and download the app if you haven't done so. So let's start by asking you a few questions, because every one of us these days is reading so much about immunity and good health and things like that. Do you know your body has a sewage system, and your immunity is dependent on that sewage system? That sewage system has to be working well to remove the waste products. So just like in your house, you have a sewage system, and what does that sewage system? Products that are not needed in the house, it takes away those away from your home. Similarly, in your body, there is a system called lymphatic system. So just like you have an immune system, there is a lymphatic system, which is the body's sewage system, and it removes the elements, the body fluids, the waste products that are not required. It helps in moving them and finally in eliminating them from the body. And these fluids, which is called lymph, so it flows in the lymphatic system. Just like you have blood in your blood vessels, in the lymphatic system you have lymph, and the lymph contains immunity cells. So one very important function of the lymphatic system is that the immunity cells over there kill the unwanted pathogens and remove them from your body. So very important for immunity. Do you know what are living foods and how to eat them, when to eat them? Are you eating living foods? You can add life to your life only by eating living foods. So in our program, we'll be delving a lot deeper into this to ensure that you eat foods which are not dead. How to build a lifestyle which keeps you healthy and strong to ward off infections? I mean, is it just about eating some superfoods every now and then? No, as per us, immunity and good health is dependent on the actions that you take in your daily life. So these actions have to be consistent. These actions have to be sustainable. They're not once in a while. So what you do on a daily basis is what determines your health. Fever, cold and coughs, etc. are body's healing mechanisms. So we feel that if we have fever, that means we are sick, we are unwell. Or if we have a cold, or if we have cough, if we have loose motions, etc., we feel we are unwell. But when you look at it from a nature cure point of view, these mechanisms are actually body's healing mechanisms. The body raises its temperature when it needs to kill the pathogens, because pathogens don't survive at a high temperature. That's why you get a fever. Body gives you loose motions when it needs to throw out something which it really doesn't want to deal with, or for that matter, even vomiting. A lot of times when people have food poisoning, they just vomit, vomit, vomit. So that is body's way of just removing with a big push whatever is not needed. And similarly with cold and cough, in cold, a lot of mucus is generated because unwanted material is supposed to just flow out with that mucus. And same with cough. When we cough with pressure, we are throwing out something which is not needed. So these are all body's healing mechanisms. They are for our well-being, for our immunity. So in Nature Cure, a key concept is that you have to keep your body clean from inside. Your body is completely capable of giving you good health, of taking care of you. So many functions that happen in the body. However, what we have to focus on doing is we have to keep our system clean from inside. So we spend a lot of time and energy in, keeping our house clean because we don't want flies to come in. We don't want mosquitoes to come in. Similarly, we have to keep our body clean also. And what does that mean? So due to the metabolic processes that happen in our body, the cells, they produce waste materials. Okay, so like if you were in a factory and a factory is producing something, smoke will be released as a waste product, let's say. But then that factory will have a mechanism to deal with that smoke, which is that it will be released into the atmosphere, let's say. Similarly, in our body, whatever actions we take on a daily basis, like right now, even when I'm talking or I'm moving my hands or I'm blinking my eyes, these are all physical processes that are happening in my body, and it will automatically lead to creation of some waste products as a result of that. Or when I eat foods will be digested, there will be some waste which will have to be eliminated. The body takes care of all these waste materials by 4 ways. One is through the kidneys when we pass urine, through the colon when we pass motions, our bowel movements, through our lungs when we exhale air, we are throwing out the waste products, and even through our skin. Our skin is a breathing organ. We breathe through our skin also, so our skin is also continuously exhaling the waste products. And sometimes when we sweat, when our temperature rises and we sweat is also a mechanism by which the waste product is removed from the body. So as long as all this cleaning up work is happening inside, it is all very good, and the body can take care of all the other functions also that it has to do. However, if for some reason this elimination work is not happening properly, and why would that be? So let's say if the elimination organs, which I just mentioned, if they are not hale and hearty, and therefore they are not able to perform the elimination function well. Or let's say the elimination organs are absolutely fine, but I'm following my lifestyle practices are bad. So a lot of waste product is getting created in the body, and the body is overburdened. It is not able to deal with that. So accumulation of waste or accumulation of toxins is more than the elimination of toxins. When that happens, these will start getting accumulated in your body at various places. And when that happens, that is going to result in illnesses, diseases, infections in one form or the other. So the body's defense mechanism can work at its best, or the immunity can work at its best when you keep your body clean from within. So our body is self-healing, it is self-maintaining. That means it knows what to do. We just have to give it the right environment. Asha.
Yeah. So now we come to what, how, and when to eat. The first slide is about what to eat. So this is a very intriguing question for a lot of people because there's so much information out there of what is good, what is not good. But we believe that what is good is what nature has given us, meant for our species, in the least processed form as possible. So when we eat what is in its natural form, we derive the maximum nutrition. Plant-based. So anything which comes from a plant, that is fruits, vegetables, sprouts, nuts, seeds, grains. So these are plant-based foods, and those are natural foods meant for our species. Whole. Whole means we do not subject foods given by nature to further processing. That is, for example, you can think about white rice or maida, for example. So these are not whole foods. They have been processed to remove the husk, which makes it less nutritious. Seasonal. So nature meant us to eat fruits which are in season, which means that we end up eating different kinds of fruits in different seasons going along with the cycles of nature, and that means that we get the entire set of nutrients we need from diverse foods. Regional. So when we eat foods which are regional, that is which has been grown locally, it means that the food has not traveled through a long distance to come to our plate. That means it's higher in nutrition, it has probably not been sprayed with pesticides, and it also leaves a lower environment footprint. So it is the best food for us, whatever is available locally. So that means that you don't actually have to spend a lot of money in buying exotic food, fruits and vegetables, for example, from some other countries, but eat what is seasonal, local, whole, and you should be good. High water content. So this again goes with least processed. So there are a lot of foods, especially fruits and vegetables, which are high in water content. And after all, our body is like 60 to 70% water, and water is the highest, but the most least uh, you know importance. The least importance is given to it. But when we eat high water content foods, we supply our body with its needs. Next slide, Anjal. So how to eat? This is also as important as what to eat. How to eat is something we will be talking about a lot during the program and sorting out all the questions you have, because uh, not only what we eat, but how we eat that food, in what combinations we eat, and how do we prepare the food, how do we add spices, for example, and how do we combine with other food groups is very important, because it is needed for proper digestion and absorption of the nutrients. Our body uses its internal vitality to digest the food. So the body acts on the food to make it, to bring it down to a state in which it can be assimilated. And this takes the vitality from the body. So how to eat is something we will be sharing with you during the program. And what that will do is, when you eat food with in the right combination, that will conserve your vitality, so you have more vitality available for fighting off infections or for healing. Next slide. So everything in nature works in a rhythm. You have seasons, you have the day and night, and our body takes its cues from nature, when to wake up, when to sleep, when the digestion is high, and these cues come from nature, and our body also works in a rhythm, a natural rhythm, which is called the circadian rhythm. So it is very important to align our lifestyle and what we eat with this rhythm. When what we eat is aligned with this rhythm, digestion becomes effortless, assimilation, elimination, everything works well. So understanding how to eat these foods in accordance with the circadian rhythm is something which everyone should know, and we are going to stress a lot about this during our program. Yeah, Anjal, this is for you.
Yeah. So let's talk about living foods. So in the beginning also I mentioned that what are living foods? Are you adding living foods to your diet? because that is what is required the most for building your immunity and good health. So living foods are foods that are rich in enzymes and nutrients. Enzymes are catalysts of all the metabolic processes that happen in our body. So even when we eat something, let's say one metabolic process is that that food has to be digested. So for digesting that food, we will need enzymes. Okay. Now enzymes are there in the body. Our body can produce enzymes. Our body has its own reserve of enzymes. But when we eat living foods, we are also getting enzymes through these foods. So the living foods will be very easy to digest because they themselves already have the enzymes that are needed for digestion. However, if I'm eating foods which are not living, they don't have these enzymes because we have cooked them at high temperatures or we have done a lot of processing. So the enzymes are dead. Enzymes are heat sensitive. So if they're exposed to high temperatures, they die off. Now, if I eat such a food, what is going to break it down? The enzymes which are there in my body. Okay. So the body will of course break down. The body is capable of doing that. But over a period of time, what is happening? I'm depleting the existing enzyme reserves in my body and I'm not adding anything to that by eating the right kind of foods. So when this equation goes out of whack, it starts leading to a lot of health issues. You will start feeling less energetic. You will start feeling very irritable, so on and so forth. So for health and for immunity, it's important that a decent size of our plate is filled with these living foods. So we will, during the program, we will tell you what are living foods, how should you prepare them to ensure that the enzymes and the nutrients stay intact, and how can you add them to your plates in an interesting manner, which is, tasty and easy to follow also, because if it's not tasty, it is not sustainable. Now coming to the body's balance. So our body has a pH scale, which is the acid alkaline balance. It's a scale from 0 to 14, where 0 or 1, indicates the beginning of the acidic side, and 14 is the other end, which is the alkaline state. It's not that we have to be 14 on 14 and we have to be like completely alkaline. Our body actually has different pH balances. Different body parts have different pH balances. So for example, our stomach is actually acidic, whereas the small intestine is slightly less acidic, so on and so forth. But overall, when we look at the pH balance that we are showing over here, we are talking about the acid alkaline balance of the blood in our body, because blood is the carrier of nutrients to all cells. So this pH balance should be slightly alkaline, at around 7.36 to 7.45. But of course, there are certain foods which will make your body more acidic, and there are other foods which will help you keep your body alkaline. Unfortunately, with the kind of food practices or the lifestyle practices that we follow these days, there is a lot that contributes to take our body more on the acidic side, and that's the reason why we have to focus on what are the alkaline foods which can help me regain my balance at the kind of level that we all need to be in. So during the program, we'll be talking a lot about what are these alkaline foods and how you should add them in your diet. So now let's talk about a little bit about this program that we are starting. It's called Boost Immunity with Natural Foods. It starts on Tuesday of the coming week, which will be the 30th of June. So we do believe that health or immunity is determined by a lot of factors. It is not just food. But for the purpose of this program, we thought let's focus just on the food element, especially because so much is being said about what to eat, what not to eat. So why not just simplify this so that we can do it for ourselves, and we don't really have to worry that who should we listen to or who should we not listen to. So what we'll do in this program is that we will give you a diet plan focusing on your immunity. We will give it to you at the beginning of the program, and this diet plan will be based on nature's laws. So all the concepts, all the things that we just spoke to you about, those have been taken into account while designing this diet plan for you. So what will you eat, at what time you will eat, in what food combinations will you eat, is it acidic, is it alkaline, all that, is it living foods or not, so all that has been taken into account to prepare this 7-day diet plan. So we'll give you a daily routine in terms of what you have to start your day with. Like generally people start with tea, coffee, so we'll tell you what is it that you should start your day with, what should you have for breakfast, what should you have for lunch, dinner, evening snacks, or sweet cravings. Those can also be satisfied in a healthier way. So we'll give you a diet plan that takes care of all of that. We will also give you a recipes book which has 80 plus recipes. So there will be recipes for each food category. Like, so for whatever is your daily plan, we'll give you some ideas for breakfast. So those recipes will be there in this book. We'll give you some recipes for lunch, some for dinner. So it's not that you have to follow only these recipes. It's more about, just giving you ideas regarding what is healthy for you, what is good to eat, and will really help you in building your immunity. So you can either use the same recipes, or you can pick up what those recipes are based on, what are the larger principles, because we'll be talking about those as well, and you can replicate them based on the ingredients that are available, the grocery that is already available at your house. And we'll also of course give you a shopping list at the beginning of the program to ensure that there are certain things that should always be available in the kitchen. So one thing I would like to highlight is that all our recipes are plant-based, so we do not encourage the use of animal products, non-veg, dairy. Those recipes would not be a part of the program. In fact, Asha shared something this morning, so I requested her if she could read it on our call today. So Asha, if you could just read that, I'll stop my screen, then maybe you can.
Yeah. Actually, Anshul, before we go to that, I also wanted to mention that, this program is not just for immunity. You may also be pleasantly surprised to see that you can lose weight, and probably many of your health symptoms, like let's say gas, bloating, headaches, can also see a good improvement. Of course, it's a short time, it's just 7 days, but I'm sure with the skills you acquire and the knowledge you get during this training, during this program, will help you a lot in all the other issues also. So I'm just sharing my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
So this is a recent article from Times of India, 25th June actually. So it's very interesting to note that a lot of doctors are also waking up to the fact that a plant-based diet is the diet which we should be following, and which is good not only for the body, it's also good for our environment. It's uh, good for the environment of the country. So doctors, activists have urged and written to our Prime Minister to promote a plant-based diet, especially during this time when we have all been through this very worrying, tough time due to the pandemic. So a lot of concerns have arisen over the environment and public health. So it says that doctors, activists, and animal welfare groups on Thursday urged Prime Minister Narendra Modi to promote a plant-based food options and regulate meat, egg, and dairy industry. So they are basically asking him to promote reducing of all this and increase a plant-based diet. So in a letter to the Prime Minister, several doctors as well as activists pointed out that as the corona outbreak was traced to meat market in China's Wuhan, such a threat prevails in meat production facilities and markets in India too. The doctor's call has been supported by animal welfare groups who have sent an urgent letter today to the Prime Minister. The group's letter points out that a significant amount of research by global bodies, among others, have concluded that increased production and consumption of animal-based foods is detrimental to public health and the environment. And COVID-19 has been traced to a meat market in Wuhan. The conditions in such places are similar to any meat production facility and market in India. Several prominent and reputable medical professionals have also issued advisories stating that plant-based or vegetarian diets are safer and more sustainable compared to the consumption of meat, eggs, and dairy products. Dr. Pankaj Chaturvedi from Tata Memorial Hospital said that there is ample evidence from research to prove the role of different forms of meat in causation of several chronic issues such as type 2 diabetes, coronary heart disease, coronary heart failure, stroke, etc. Increased meat production leads to increased water usage, deforestation, water pollution, and greenhouse effect, ultimately leading to global warming, he added. And Maulekhi said it is time that the Eat Right campaign, initiated by the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, that is FSSAI, promotes consumption of plant-based diet for public health, food security, and sustainability. Virulent disease outbreak, including the current global pandemic, have been traced to meat markets and production facilities time and again. The current intensive production practices of egg and meat production gravely impact public health. So this article also says that many countries like Canada, Germany, China, even these countries have recommended increased consumption of plant-based food and limiting consumption of meat, dairy, and eggs in their national guidelines. India is already taking numerous steps in the right direction, particularly through the Eat Right India campaign, which has highlighted the necessity to bring healthy, sustainable, and safe food to the forefront of Indian diets. Incentives, subsidies, and public distribution schemes should be developed so as to ensure that malpractices in animal farming, such as overcrowding and administration of antibiotics, are not encouraged, it said. So, yeah, this article touches on a lot of aspects apart from health, how it is beneficial to so many other things. So I think this should become a movement, grow from the bottom up, and getting to know how to prepare these foods and use them in our daily life is one of the first steps we can take. So I will stop sharing.
Okay. Thank you, Asha. Thank you for reading that out for all of us. So yeah, it's just coincidence that this article has come out recently, and we were in any case doing this, planning this program. So the recipes that we have will be all whole plant-based. And what will be the format of the program? It's a 1 week long program. How will it be conducted is also something that we thought we should explain. So the diet plan and the recipes will be handed over to you at the beginning of the program. And the first group video call that we will do, we will walk you through the diet plan. We will read through it together. We'll explain you what you should eat at what time and why. And I would also like to mention that actually there are two levels in this diet plan. So there is a green plan and there is an orange plan. There are two plans. So some part of the diet plan is common for all, but based on the difficulty level, the green plan is a little bit more difficult than the orange plan. So if someone doesn't want to, make very drastic changes, then orange plan is something that he or she can start with. And I think for people who are willing to explore a bit more or who are already on this path, green plan is what will work best for you. So the diet plan that we share with you will have all these details, and also on the first group call, Asha and I will take you through all of this, and if you have any queries, any doubts, we will take those up. Other than that, there will be a WhatsApp group which we will create, and that group will be open for your participation every day from 4 to 6 p.m. So it will be good to see you all, share your food pics or share your struggles. We can help you out on those to simplify it for you, or any victories, anything that you are feeling. We like to work very closely with our participants, and we also always encourage participants that please come and share more and more, because that's the whole point in working together as a community, that our energies can really rub on each other. So that is what will happen on the WhatsApp group for a period of 7 days. But in terms of the calls that we do, which is in the same format that we are doing right now, there will be one, like I said, at the beginning of the program, where we'll talk about the diet plan. Then one call will happen in the middle of the program, maybe 3 or 4 days into the program. We'll have a second call where we'll again all connect and talk about how things are going, any Q&A that you have. And at the end of the program, at the end of the 7 days, we will again do a group call where we will talk about the non-food elements which are required for immunity building. So while this entire program is focusing on the foods part, like I said, immunity is going to come, or good health is going to come only from a holistic perspective. So at the last day, we will present to you the non-food elements and how you can incorporate them in your daily life. That will happen on the last call. So that's the format of the program. Asha, over to you.
Yeah. So, what can you expect from the program, and why should you attend? So, our our objective is to sort out the confusion which is currently out there on what to eat, how to eat, what is good for me, should I eat more frequently, and all the other things based on nature's lens. So, what has nature designed for us, and what are nature's cycles? And because nature is our greatest teacher, and that's what we are going to talk about, how you should plan your diet based on what nature actually planned for us. Make implementation simple for yourself. So we know that all of you are busy, and you have a busy family and professional life. So our objective is to make it so simple for you that you just have to follow the plan we outline and the diets, the recipes we share. So as and when the program goes on, any questions, any implementation difficulties you have, we are there for you. We know that it's not possible to make all the changes from day zero. There will be a lot of doubts coming up, because we've been used to eating different for a long time. How to prepare something, and I couldn't get something, what can I substitute it with, or some recipe didn't work out, and those kind of things. So we will be there to offer our suggestions. And what you can expect is better health and immunity. You will, like I said at the beginning of the call, that even though it's just for immunity, but you will also see betterment in many health conditions. So your health is in your hands. You know that it is working for you. You hopefully by the end of the program, you will know for yourself what is healthy and how you should eat it. And not only for yourself, you can improve the health of your whole family. And you will be amazed to see that, everything, a lot of things are linked to health. So if you've got your health sorted and it's out of the way, you have more time, your productivity increases, you sleep well, your mood is better. So in effect, it is going to lead to better productivity for you. Next slide, Anchal. So we have, as Anchal said, not only recipes which we'll be talking about in the program, but towards the end of the program, and also if you have questions every day, of course, We will also be talking to you about the healthy lifestyle practices which you should be adopting, not only about food, but a lot of other activities which will align you with nature and which actually has a significant effect on your health. So you learn natural lifestyle practices to boost your immunity too. So we have Anchal and myself available for you throughout the program, also for the calls and the WhatsApp sessions. A little bit about myself. I'm Asha Shivaram. I'm a nature cure practitioner and a health coach, and I also consult, help other clients who have different health problems. My journey started around 6 years back. I had a lot of health issues like slip disc, anxiety, fibromyalgia, sleeplessness, and IBS. And my journey has led me on a path of self exploration and reading a lot of books, learning from a lot of people, from mentors, by attending courses. So I learned the benefits of a whole food plant-based lifestyle and implemented it not only for myself, for my whole family, my parents, and some of my other friends and clients who were interested in this. And we have seen a lot of benefits from this lifestyle. And it's my passion to help others realize how easy and how simple it is to make these changes, how intuitive it is that once we make these changes, our whole life changes. It's not only health, but a lot of other factors also. So I'm looking forward to interact with all of you during the program. And Anchal, can you please give your introduction also?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Anjal. So, along with Asha, I'll be your coach on the program. And my personal journey is also similar to Asha's. I was struggling with a few serious health issues 6, 7 years ago, and I was supposed to be on medication for life. I was supposed to live with my health issues for life. But then I stumbled upon natural lifestyle and started making some changes in my daily life, in my daily foods and daily lifestyle practices. And after that, the change happened quite uh, magically. So it took a few months, but I was able to get rid of my health issues, and I was also able to give up uh, medicines. And since then, I've been educating myself more about natural lifestyle. I've been exploring and experimenting a lot for myself and my family. And also, I've been working with various people to make simple, sustainable changes in adopting this lifestyle. So, that is what Asha and I will endeavor to deliver to you over this 7-day program of boosting your immunity through natural foods. So that is all from our side for today. We just wanted to introduce the program to you and let you know more about how it will be conducted. So if you have any questions about the program, we can take up those questions now. So Asha, if you can start taking that up from the chat section one by one.
Yeah. So, so Sonal asked, will it not create over-exploitation of lands for agriculture and cutting of forest? So I think this is in relation to the article I read out. So Sonal, just briefly, it's a vast topic. Briefly to talk about it. Actually, animals eat more grains, up to 7 times more than what humans eat. So, if we are eating meat or taking the products of animals like dairy, the amount of the amount of grain consumption and the amount of deforestation actually is much more. Because these are all, many of them are large animals and they eat a lot of natural produce and they consume a lot of natural resources. So that's an answer in brief. And yeah, Sunita says Eat Right India campaign. So happy to hear that. It's about time. Yes, Sunita, we agree with you. I think there's a lot of needless suffering going on, and it's our endeavor to bring natural health to to more and more people in India, and keep it simple and show that it is so natural and intuitive to eat this way.
So, Asha, let me take the next question. This is from Mayura.
Okay.
Will the diet options have more of nut options? Like recipes will have more of nuts, is it? No, actually, the recipes will surely have nuts. I mean, some recipes, not all. But like I said, like even when it comes to nuts, at what time of the day you should eat them, at with what food combinations you should eat them, all those things will be taken into account. But we will never be going overboard with nuts, because nuts are very calorie dense, very nutrient dense, and the daily intake of nuts should be very moderate. Um so yeah, it's not that it will have more of nut options. That would not be the case. Okay, let me pick up another one. Charges of the course. So the course for for the 1 week period, it is priced at 750 rupees. So we'll be sharing the payment details with all of you, so you can explore it over there. So Asha, you can take up the next one, which is, can vegan diet help in weight gain?
Yes, of course, it does help. So there is, I believe everyone has an optimum weight, and it depends on your body structure, how your parents were, and all that. Most of the low weight issues are because of malabsorption. So the food which you're eating is not getting, the nutrients are not getting absorbed in the body. So definitely, uh, I think that with the diet plan we share, and especially how to eat, which we will talk about, will help with this aspect.
Okay, I'll take up the next two questions. One is, plant-based means no milk also. So milk can be actually animal-based and plant-based. So the recipes that we give out during the program will be based on plant-based milks. So if you're new to that, we will help you. We'll tell you, how plant-based milks are made. And do remember, I think step one is to understand why uh, we are asking you to have plant-based and not animal-based. That is step number one, even before you actually start making the change. Because if you don't understand the why, you will not be able to do it. You will think this doesn't make sense. Okay, so first of all, important to understand the why. And the second thing is to take baby steps. So you may not want to leave it all of a sudden completely, but you may want to reduce it gradually and start replacing it with the other options that we tell you during the program. Okay, so that's my answer for that. And there was one more question that I read.
Until
Do you
I
have
had
to?
a
Yeah.
sorry.
Do you have to turn vegan is another question I wanted to answer. So I think I've already kind of answered it. It is not about going extreme. There are a lot of people who get, who really go on the back foot the moment they hear the word vegan. So there are various angles to it, whether you look at it from a health perspective or an ethical perspective or an environmental issues perspective. It really depends on which one appeals the most to you. What we like to propagate is that you have to eat natural foods, foods that have been made by nature for the human species. And those foods are whole plant-based foods. So whatever you eat, you always have to ensure that the whole plant-based foods form the majority of your diet, irrespective of whether you are a vegan or you're not a vegan. So I would request you to look at it from that point of view. So
Until
Asha,
I had a
next.
private question from somebody. I hope you can take it. So she asks that this workshop is not for those who are suffering from chronic problems. I read about it. If someone has a gut health which is totally compromised and has gluten allergy, Hashimoto's thyroid, can he attend the program and will it be beneficial? So could you answer it, please?
Yeah, so I think you can attend the program. What all will be suggesting will actually help you. What will suggest will be actually very good for the health. So for the gut. So yeah, in my view, you can attend. Asha, if you could just maybe note down the name of the person who's asked this question, just in case we need any specific details. Uh, we can probably reach out to you. But otherwise, prima facie, my first. My first response is that I think it'll be good if you join.
Yeah.
Asha, if you
Sonal,
can answer this from Monica, can autoimmune disease be reversed by using the plant-based diet?
yes, there are a lot of people who have reversed their autoimmune conditions with a plant-based diet. Many autoimmune conditions are actually caused due to animal foods, so definitely this will be helpful. But I would like to say that this program is for 7 days, and the objective is for us to introduce you to this way of living and help you with ready recipes and talk to you about how and when to eat. So, the implementation, long term implementation is something which you should do on your own. I mean, you can, of course, approach us through other programs, but reversing an autoimmune condition will take time, but definitely it is possible. Sonal asks, I have lost 5 kgs weight after vegan diet and I'm not gaining any weight. So if I can take it up, yeah, Sonal, I totally get it because I was in the same boat when I turned to plant-based food and vegan lifestyle. I lost a lot of weight, inviting comments from my family members. But I would call it losing waste, not weight. So whatever, the body never holds on to inferior quality material. So when you start supplying your body with superior building material, all the old cells and tissues will be broken down and thrown away by the body, and it is going to rebuild it with the better building blocks. So it is definitely going to happen. Your body will build up and it will reach its optimal weight, and that may take a little bit of time.
Yeah. So, Sonal, just to add to that, I mean, vegan diet is just one part of the whole thing. We will also, like during the program, we'll have to see whether you are eating at the right time, eating in the right combinations, acid, alkaline, etc., etc. Because, like Asha said, if your body can't absorb the nutrients, you may be having a vegan diet, but if your body is not absorbing those nutrients for X, Y, Z reasons, then you will not gain weight. So, hopefully, that should get addressed. When you start following our program, and we've shared the link, the registration link in the chat section, so you can pick it up from there. And all the workshop details, again, we will share it with you on email and on WhatsApp as well. So I think that is all from our side for today. We would like to conclude the call, and we would be very happy to see you join the course and simplified journey of boosting your immunity through natural foods. So stay tuned. We'll mail you all details and let's pick it up from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend, all of you, and goodbye.